Hi everyone, and welcome to my Malaysia video, or Kuala Lumpur. This trip was during the final few weeks of my ISP, or Independent Study Project, of my study abroad in Indonesia. This is a series of videos, so if you want to see about my actual study abroad, well, this is my actual study abroad, but program-specified excursions and learning experiences, then go watch my videos on Bali and Java. The ISP month is basically a month where you get to go anywhere you want and study a topic of your choice and write a research paper on it, a thesis paper. I had already finished all my research by this point, as had the people I traveled with, Erin and Ella. So we decided to fly to Malaysia, to Kuala Lumpur, and write our thesis paper somewhere fun. The 4 days we were there, we would spend half of the day writing our papers, basically until we were too bored or couldn't focus on the screen anymore. And then we would go explore Kuala Lumpur. Hope you enjoy. Erin and I flew from Jakarta to Kuala Lumpur, and then we met up with Ella in the airport at Kuala Lumpur, and it worked out surprisingly well. We had booked a tiny Airbnb that presumably had 3 bedrooms, a washer and a dryer, and a bathroom, which, if you watch my living in Indonesia video, you'll see why it was so crazy for us to have a washer and a dryer and a shower. But we were going to be living in luxury. I had my expectations real low. I was like, there's no way it's going to be this nice. Especially with how we had to get in there. I'm going to have to cut some of these clips out because I don't want to like ruin the secrecy of it. But we had to go into a restaurant next door, and the keys were basically in the kitchen, but none of the employees knew about it. We asked them, we were like, hey, do you know where the key box is for the hotel next door? Or the apartments next door, because the Airbnb was an apartment. And all of them were like, no, go check in with them. But our instructions said, don't check in with them, they'll charge you a fee. So we were like, we don't got money for fees. We just waltzed back into the back room, and no one questioned us. No one stopped us. We just walked in, and there was a key box back there. And we put in the code, and lo and behold, it opened. So then we took the key and just walked into the apartment complex without checking in. And it was exactly like the picture said. The washer and dryer were one thing. That was weird. But beds were great. There was a shower. Yeah, that's what I was excited about. Since we had been traveling all day, we decided to go walk to find food. I learned from Erin and Ella the best way to know what's around you is to walk around, which, like, looking back, so obvious, but I just am not usually a walker. Now I am. After this trip, I have become a walker. So we walked down the streets, which turned out to not be very walkable from where we were, but we did it anyways, and went to this delicious Mediterranean restaurant. And I think about this dish all the time. I mean, you can see how I destroyed that thing. Like, just looking at it makes me... And then we went to bed. And then the next day, we woke up and we started by working on our ISPs. So we went to this cafe that Ella found, and it had free Wi-Fi. And my favorite thing is when you order on a screen and you don't have to talk to people. Love it. So we got to order on a screen, and then they brought it to our table. Like, we scanned a QR code, put in what we want. This is not interesting. Doesn't matter. We worked on our ISPs there for a few hours, and then we decided to go to the Twin Towers. I was confused because I thought we were going into the Twin Towers when we walked up to them, but no, we went like underneath them and then behind them, and then there was this huge mall. And the first floor was like all super expensive, like luxury brands, like Gucci, Prada. That's all I remember, because we did not stay on that floor for very long. The bottom floor was, they had this like Christmas town set up, and it was so cute. And I was so excited because there was a photo booth, and I was like, you know what? If we have to pay for the photo booth, I'm willing to pay, because I love photo booths. And photos, just printed photos, are amazing. We walked out the back of the mall to go, there was this like big park behind it with like these fountains and this big water area, or to get photos to post on Instagram, because influencers, not really. Took a bunch of photos out there, and it was actually pretty cute, I would say. And there were some banyan trees that we walked in between, and I thought it was really pretty. It was really nice. Then we went back inside and went shopping at Victoria's Secret. When we went and looked for food, we found Din Tai Fung. And it was so much cheaper than it is in America. If you go to Kuala Lumpur and you like soup dumplings, Din Tai Fung is probably a third of the price that it is in America. So this was the first of 3 times that we went to Din Tai Fung, and dude, we like destroyed those dishes. Destroyed. And that was our first day. Second day, same thing basically again. We go to a cafe, work on our ISPs. I think this was the day that I was sick and did not go to the cafe, but it's fine. And after that, we went to the Central Market, which is exactly what it sounds like. There was a big, like, local art, small art business scene. There's a better word for that, but I can't remember right now. And there were just, like, lines of booths with all of the normal, like, crafty things you could think of, like earrings and candles and whatever. So we got sucked in. We made personalized candles for friends and family because Christmas was coming up. And I bought a bunch of earrings, including these, which, I love these. Love those earrings. And we went to a stationery store. The postcards. I was never... Oh, you know what? You know what else I got? Hold on, let me go get it. Kucing magnet. It's backwards, but kucing means cat in Indonesian. And then bought a bunch of postcards, you know, as one would expect. But I sent all those postcards, so now I don't have any. I have that one. That one's a Malaysia postcard. That one's Borobudur. And then we went to find street food, and this was probably the highlight of the Kuala Lumpur trip because we found satay ayam. Delicious. We snarfed that shit down. I included multiple videos of me eating it because it was a heavenly experience that needed to be shared with the world. So enjoy that. We also got bread and gyoza. So here's a collection of me eating food. Have fun. Wait. How do I do this? Keep going. Oh, okay. It's really hot. Oh my god. Aww. Hey, cake. Oh, there we go. It's so big. Why is it so big? I know. Really good. Don't understand how to eat this. That is incredible. Favorite. Chicken sauté. Smother that shit in putting that sauce. Okay. I then begged Erin and Ella, like my one thing that I really wanted to do, because I trusted them to take us to do cool things. The one cool thing I decided was the aquarium, because I like aquariums. They had this really cool like tunnel. They would take you on, what are those things called that just, like at a ski resort that takes you up the bunny hill and it's just a conveyor belt. You stood on a conveyor belt and it took you through an aquarium. And we had like sharks swim over us. It was freaky. And there was a sign that said, due to the curvature of the glass everything's actually plus 50% of the size or something. I don't know. They were bigger than what they looked like. I was like, no thanks. That's scary. I'm glad to have the glass between us. And then since the aquarium was so close to the Twin Towers, we went back to the mall and went back to Victoria's Secret again. And then we ate more Din Tai Fung. Yeah, that was the second Din Tai Fung. The next day, we went and had breakfast at this, like, really cute bakery. Worked on our ISPs more. Then we went to this area that was outside of the Kuala Lumpur Central Market, and it had these chocolate-covered strawberries, and they were enak to say. Oh, this is gonna be such a cringe video. I can't. It's too late. And then I think we just went and worked more on our ISP that day. Yeah, I think we walked to another, I don't remember. Figured it out. We tried to go find this cafe that we'd seen online, or I think Ella had seen online. Again, I was just tagging along. But we couldn't find it. Ended up going into this, like, giant bookstore, and it was like a maze. Of course, I only took one photo because I was boiling alive. And just wanted to sit down because my legs hurt. We went to that big bookstore. We couldn't find the cafe that we wanted to go to. I took no videos of the books. I'm texting Ella and Erin right now to try to remember exactly what happened this day because clearly I don't. But that was charcuterie night where we went to the store and we chose a bunch of cheeses and meats and crackers and made a charcuterie board. Yeah, and then we went to bed. And then the next morning we woke up and had to say goodbye because our checkout time was at 10 a.m. and our flight was at like 6. So we went to the cafe next door. Like, I think, no, it was next door. We went to the cafe next door and asked if we could just pile our stuff in the corner. And they said, yeah. So we piled our stuff in the corner and worked on our ISPs for like 8 hours. And then when we got to the airport, our flight was delayed and we found Din Tai Fung. So that was our third and final Din Tai Fung. And we were the last people on our flight because of that. We are the last people on the airplane. But we made it, so it's fine. And we got dumplings. So I think we were definitely full up on our dumplings. So yeah, that was our trip to Malaysia. If you're going to Kuala Lumpur, I definitely recommend going to Chinatown, getting the street food. So good. We had no stomach complications after, but I cannot speak for everyone. I do recommend the aquarium too, because it looks like a lot of their money actually went to research and good things, supporting wildlife. I was a little concerned that it was going to be like poorly done, but it was actually pretty well done. And then the Central Market, yeah, that was our experience. Thanks for watching.